We'll go ahead and get started with Coach here. Players are on their way, but we'll have Coach provide an opening statement first, and then we'll open up for questions for Coach, and then when the players arrive, we'll go ahead and get started with them as well. So, Coach, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon. I think for me, you got to start off with, from Commissioner Phillips all the way down, Jess and her team. I was just so appreciative of everything they do for ACC baseball. Got to play in this conference, for a great head coach. Played against a lot of really good programs, developed great relationships, and got my degree and using it now to coach guys and develop the next wave of hopefully leaders. And, this league has so many good teams. I got to see Mike Bell this morning, down in the lobby of the hotel and, feel really like they deserve to get in the tournament. You go with Elliott and his team at NC State that is good as anybody. And obviously NC State deserves to be in. You go up and down and there's people that, a lot of times in our league, you sit there and you go, hey, the middle or the bottom is not where it is in other leagues, maybe across the country or a certain league in particular. But I think the way that this league has developed depth is a byproduct of coaching staffs that, you got to build a great staff. You got to work hard to acquire really good players. You got to have them stay. And I think the one message that, reverberates through Georgia Tech or North Carolina or any of these programs of guys choosing to stay, guys not wanting to seek out greener grass with a chance to win a championship. But up and down, super thankful, like I said, proud to be a part of this league and want to continue to be a great representative of it. Hope that North Carolina and us, among several others, are in Omaha, representing this league. And always it's bigger than baseball. And so, really proud of our guys up and down. It goes to I mentioned again, and I'm always long-winded with it, but just appreciate the way our coaching staff and our support staff pour into our players. They're really well taken care of as people first, and then as baseball players second. We have an unbelievable team, and I'm not going to sit here and shout out a bunch of guys individually, but it can be somebody different every day. I think playing against North Carolina, they're unbelievable. They're so well balanced. You have to earn everything you get. And felt like we ended up doing that today. Just had enough of a grinded it out offensively, grinded it out on the mound, and just kind of the will to win. Just competitive stamina by us, and now we're sitting up at I think 28-5 aggregate between the regular season and the tournament. These guys never shy away. They want to continue to break records along the way, and I think that a big hats off to just the work they've put in. It's not easy because everybody in the league's giving you their best, and they're rated, preseason number one. And I asked them, you get to cast a ballot, and none of them broke stride. Said, well, who's the best team in the conference? Said, we are. And I said, well, boys, as a coach, man, you can't be front running with your boys all the time. And they said, no, we'll back it up. And so here they are, 20 or 33 games later in the conference, going, wire to wire, regular season and tournament champions. So, man, this is star power up here on the stage, boys. But these guys, it's who they are. You really can't tell. DB goes backside line drive his first at bat, and I said something like, "Well, you're gonna do it today, right?" You look at, chasing a record that I personally have never chased, a home run record, and the gravity of that, especially when you're in lopsided games. It's like, well, let me just get this out of the way. But when we need him the most, number 8 always steps up, and so Zuckerman throughout the whole course of the tournament. You're looking at Lackey. How do you get these guys out? The bottom of our lineups willing to grind out at bats. For the most part, played good defense. Thought we ran the bases extremely well today. But couldn't be more proud of this group. And the good news is these guys they realize it's just another step along the way for us.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go ahead and open up for questions for coach and student athlete. We'll get to the questions here in person first, and then we'll try to go to Zoom if we have more time. We'll start down here.
Drew, just talk about, becoming the all-time home run leader in program history. What it means to you on the same day as winning a conference championship?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think I like winning the tournament a little bit more, but it is really special. Obviously it's been something that's been in the back of my mind for a little bit now. A lot of people have been talking about it, and I am glad that I got it and got it out of the way. So it's such a special. Georgia Tech has had so many great players, both in college and in the big leagues, and to pass a guy like Baratek is really exciting.
You talked about this team being special all season. You got more special things to accomplish today to the first tournament house of 2014. First time y'all swept both houses in 2005. Just what to say about this team? Like you said, you're kind of leaning into this. How special this team is. What they can accomplish.
Yeah, I think I said it out there. You get the job. Thankful for Coach Hall in 2019, the middle of the year. You get a chance to come in here and try to be a spark plug for that 2019 team. Just bring a fresh set of thoughts and ideas. And I joked these guys. I was straight out of pro ball 6 months ago. Was on Mike Martin's final staff, and then come over here. I'm running hitters meetings with really less of an idea, now that we know kind of what I'm doing. But it was just getting guys to believe they could win against anybody, any day, and just play tougher and play more together. And then we had to hit the recruiting trail. And it's like all these guys that are here because they've had different journeys here, but they've been here because we just tried to recruit them and be genuine along the way and not negative recruit other programs, just sell ourselves as people and as coaches and what we can do for these guys while they're in college and then years beyond. But if you don't get good players like this that want to show up every day and work, and that you show up on different days early and they're already wanting to hit, they're already wanting to do stuff. I think it's something that 5 years down the road for me personally, 10 years down the road, like these names that are up here with me today are names that you're going to hear me say. They're going to be household names, and I can't wait to tell the stories, of kind of where they started as they go on in their pro careers.
Coach, there's a lot of people out there that think that you'll have a chance to really be the number one overall seed tomorrow when the bracket's released. Do you have any kind of pitch to the committee about why those are being that coveted number one spot?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think, is it cool? Sure. We, once again, same thing like preseason number one team. Is it great? Yeah, sure. We think we're the best team. The committee's going to do what they do. I think they're going to do a great job of selecting teams they think are deserving. Everybody fills out NCAA brackets, and there's 1 seeds and there's 4 of them, right? In baseball, it's a little more unique. We're going to be in the 1 seed spot, which means, as we control, there's basically 3 teams that can keep us from a super regional. And then there's 1 team after that can keep us from Omaha. And so these guys have heard me say it before, but there's really only 4 teams that can keep us from Omaha. And when you keep it that simple, none of the rest of the stuff matters, right? We know we're going to host a regional. We know we're going to be a top 8 seed. We know our resume looks great. There's going to be 3 really good teams that come to our tournament that all believe they're capable of beating us. And I think that's the thing it shows today. You play a championship team like North Carolina, you got a pretty good effort out of them. Obviously, I think they, did we all play our best? Probably not, right? You're at the end of the week, but you play a team like that, it's a great measuring stick. I mean, to play a Chris Pollard coached UVA team, a JD Arteaga Miami team, and then a Scott Forbes coached UNC team, there's no better prep you can have going into the postseason. And so, no, I think all of that, I've learned this, that those numbers you don't remember when middle of June rolls around. If you're in Omaha, you're one of the 8, and nobody kind of looks at it after that. But I do think when you start putting graphics up in the buildings and you have back-to-back ACC regular season titles and you have regular season, postseason, like those are things that we will continue to celebrate as a program for a really long time.
You guys have been on the road the last couple of weeks. Just how excited are you already get back home for the regional next weekend? And how rowdy do you feel like that environment?
Yeah, I mean, already hearing words that, our fans themselves are doing a great job of, ticket allotments, and we need that to continue through tonight into tomorrow. We've made a lot of great moments together with our fan base. I mean, these guys, I'll have them speak to it, but we look forward to playing a regional in our home ballpark. And I think the Georgia Tech community, there's been a lot of winning, but they're aspiring to rally around a group like this. And so to be able to provide it with, once again, they're fans of who these guys are as people and who they've been multiple years in the program. But no, what do y'all think about the next couple of weeks playing at home?
Yeah, I mean, I for one am excited to get back there. Everything's a little bit more comfortable when you're back at home, and I mean, I can speak from experience. I mean, I've been here when there wasn't a ton of people in the stands at times, and I've been here now this year when 9 or 10 sellout games that we've had. I mean, it's so much fun when you have a group that's behind you like that, and I mean, it really does. I mean, we 14-1 in the ACC at home this year. I mean, we've had a real home field advantage, and that is something that all great programs have, and I think it's something that we've had this year, and we're going to continue to have coming down the stretch.
I mean, yeah, it's a great atmosphere to play in. Like DB says, in the past years we've been here, freshman, sophomore year, it's kind of been like playing at home, but it still doesn't feel like home. And that as of recently, with our new lights and everything like that, we've added to the field. I mean, it's been really fun playing. You can just even see it in everyone's eyes. Like no one ever has to tell each other like to lock in or anything for it. And it's everyone's already locked in because we have that home field advantage. Everyone wants to do just as much as each other.
Yeah, for me, it's a little bit different. Coming from a school where you didn't have a whole lot of people attending the games, I didn't really know what to kind of expect for home games. Obviously, it's Southern and it's baseball, so a lot of people are going to be there. But, we've had unbelievable crowds, and like Vaughn kind of just mentioned, it kind of helps us lose ourselves in the game and just go out there and compete. And I think that's when this group kind of performs the best. So
I wanted to ask you about coming from that school and being embraced into a new culture and kind of adjusting to it. Everything's improved this year, and obviously now you're the most valuable player in the tournament. So kind of just talk me through that whole journey. Yeah,
I couldn't do it with, the coaches we got and my teammates. They've just welcomed me with open arms, and whether it's me or any of the other transfers or freshmen, everyone feels welcome. It's a family here. We'll be back next offseason, probably staying at Rammer's house, eating food there. Just it's a family, and, I'm forever grateful for everything that they've given me. And, I came here for 2 reasons: to get better and win a championship, and we're kind of doing that right now. We're going to take a question from Zoom. Connor, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Connor Hines with Atlanta News First back here in town. Sounded like a pretty heavy North Carolina crowd out there today. Whether you guys use that or feel is not, I'm curious, in a season like this where you have such a talented roster, how much, if at all, do you guys lean on those things to kind of give you guys an extra little jump when you're, beating teams the way you are, to avoid complacency, if that is something you guys have used at all this year?
Yeah, Connor, Jackets all access, baby, knows no bounds. So good to see y'all. I think we've had a saying of kind of make it a home game all year. And with all respect to, other crowds, we've set attendance records when we've come into town. And that's a byproduct of people wanting to see the next MLB All-Star we have on our roster and the next championship level team. But there's definitely something that's fun because when having been in Rosenblatt and having been in TD Ameritrade, right? They have different feels, the two stadiums, but I can promise you one thing. Everybody wants to get behind a group that hasn't been there in a while. And every time, I remember playing against TCU and I felt like, it was like the Homer Simpson thing where you walk in the bush and all of a sudden everybody's got purple T-shirts on them. We had a lead and all of a sudden I look behind, the guy hits a grand slam and everybody's like doing the horn frog thing. So I think more than anything, when you go on the road and then people buy in, now we've made Georgia Tech fans everywhere we've played. They've walked around going, man, that's an explosive team. Man, that's a guys with bright futures. Man, that's just a great group of guys that play the game right. They don't show up their opponents. They love each other. And so I think that's something that as we continue to go everywhere we've gone in the country, there will be a kid that was 14 years old that was here today that'll become a really good player and say, oh, man, I remember, maybe we'll get a kid from North Carolina out of it or South Carolina or whatever it is. You guys can tell I'm always recruiting. But, I think that's the thing of, you're building this because of these guys, and you're going to be able to recruit off this for years to come.
Good time for one more.
Vaughn, Ryan, and Drew, you guys are an offense that really punt Andrew's mistakes. What did you guys take and learn from the last time playing North Carolina?
Yeah, off the jump, we had a big adjustment, I guess, as a group. Last time we faced their Sunday guy, he was just living away, and basically not giving us any pitches in the heart. And that was and Ramsey's big thing was kind of like making a new heart of the plate. So we kind of scooted up on the plate a little bit. And then he started going in more, and it just made him more uncomfortable. And I just feel like that's what allowed us to put on runs early.
Yeah, I would double down on that. Obviously, those dudes have a really good pitching staff, and they've had a philosophy that worked for them for the most part of the year. And they do a really good job at throwing fastballs away and then throwing sliders off of that. And I think with some of us kind of getting on the plate today, it definitely made some of those guys a little bit more uncomfortable trying to kind of force the ball in. Couldn't really get it there a lot of the times, and then their typical pitches they're really good, like on the black away, were good to hit for us. I think on all fronts. They hung a couple of off-speed pitches that we did damage on, but we hit a lot of fastballs really hard today. They were good pitches. I think it was a pretty good plan looking back on it.
Yeah, Rammer got us right, and we kind of just went out there and stuck to the plan. 1 through 9, we competed, and kind of that's what we've done all season. We're going to continue to do that. All right, guys, we appreciate it.
Awesome, guys. Thank you again.
Guys.
Thank you all.